Hi, my name is Andy, and I want to tell you my story. 6 months ago, my mom died. It wasn't sudden, she was sick for a long time. It was sad. For the last few years, she was just in and out of the hospital. I wished I could just take away all her pain, but I knew I couldn't. No one could. She had cancer. In the end, when she died, I've never cried so hard in my life. I really didn't want her to die, but I was glad she wasn't suffering anymore. What makes it worse is that the day she died, my mom promised me that she wouldn't leave me. She told me that she would always be with me no matter what. And whenever I felt alone or like things were hard, I just had to look for the signs. I wanted it to be true for so long, but I'm not stupid. I don't believe in angels or spirits or anything like that. I didn't think she could really stay with me after we buried her, except in my memories. But I never forgot what she told me. It started out with really little things that you wouldn't even notice. When I lost my biology homework before school one morning, I was so bummed out. I knew the teacher was going to yell at me or I might even get detention. I searched everywhere for it before I left home. I checked my bedroom, my rucksack, my coat, everywhere I could think of. It was totally lost. But when I sat down in the lab, I opened my bag and, oh my God, there it was. My homework sat right on top of everything else in my bag. At first, I thought I was just tired and blamed myself for missing it, but I could have sworn I checked my bag before. Then, more strange things happened. I got called on in math class to answer a question. I had no idea what to say, I hadn't even been paying attention to class, and when my teacher started talking about functions and variables, I totally switched off. So I panicked. I opened my textbook to a random page and I was going to flip through it and try to look for something to help, but I didn't need to. Right in front of me, written in familiar handwriting, was the right answer. I was shocked. I stared down at it until the teacher called my name again. When she did, I read the answer out loud and she praised me for getting it right. Oh my God. How could I get the answer right when I hadn't even paid attention to the question? How did the writing get there? And why was it so familiar? I had so many questions and no answers. When I got home that night, I went straight to bed. I was tired and I felt a little creeped out by the weird stuff that was happening around me. I went to my desk and started to tidy up a bit. I was trying to distract myself, but it only made everything worse. I found something. Something that just confused me even more. It was a birthday card my mom had given me 2 years ago. It made me smile to read the words she had written to me. She said that she loved me and that she would always be with me. I was so happy until I looked at the words a little too long. I recognized the handwriting. It was the same one as my textbook. I raced to get my rucksack and get the math book out to compare, and I was right. It looked exactly the same, but there was no way. I couldn't believe this was true. I tried to explain it to myself that maybe my mom had written in my textbook before she died. I tried to forget about it and just say that it was a weird coincidence. But then more weird stuff happened. One day, I was really angry at my dad because he wouldn't let me go to a friend's party on Friday night. He said he knew that my friend's parents wouldn't be home, and he said I was too young to go to a party without an adult. I was so mad that I yelled at him. I called him a crappy dad, and right then, that's when it happened. The chair next to me, the chair that Mom always used to sit in, it broke. It snapped right down the middle. One day, I ditched class for the day, and the fresh food I brought from a fast food place went rotten right in front of my eyes. Then another day, when I got an A on a test, I got home and found that my broken laptop started working again. It was the strangest thing. When I tried to tell Dad what was happening, though, he didn't like it. He told me to forget about it. and that I should move on because that's what Mom would want. He ignored everything I told him. So I ditched school and stayed in bed all morning. I felt so alone. Then my phone started buzzing loudly, and I thought maybe it was my buddy Kyle calling to see where I was, but it was an alarm. An alarm I hadn't set. It had written on it, "Exam today." It was another strange sign. I didn't know why this was happening to me, and I started to feel scared. Dad had told me to forget and move on. I felt so confused, and I wanted to write something back to confirm that it couldn't be my mom. After all, she was gone. So I said, "You're not really here." I put my phone back down on my nightstand and tried to forget about it, but it wouldn't stop buzzing. This time when I picked it up, I cried. I couldn't deny it anymore. No matter what my father said, it was too much of a coincidence. How could she have written the exact right answer I needed in my textbook before she died? Why had it been her old chair that was broken? There was only one explanation. My mom had been telling the truth. She was sending me signs just like she promised. At first, I was too shocked to feel anything, but then I started to understand. My mom was still here somewhere. She was still looking out for me. I couldn't believe how lucky I was. I wanted her to actually be right there. I wanted her to give me a hug or kiss me on the head like she used to. But of course, that was beyond what she could do. I wanted to send her a message of my own. I wanted to tell her I loved her. So I wrote, "I love you, Mom," into the notepad. The phone stopped buzzing after that. For some people, this might seem like it's just a coincidence or fake. Well, you can believe whatever you want. But I know, deep down, it was my mom. I can't prove that it's her, and you might think I'm crazy. But she promised she was going to stay with me after she died. And I believe she kept her promise. I'll never be alone again.